Hello, welcome to Boswash. Boswash is not a city. It is also not a megacity. It is a mega region, or a megalopolis. It stretches 650 kilometers from Boston to Washington, D.C., and is home to 53 million people. Boswash is the byproduct of the American dream. That's the dream of freedom, opportunity, access, and mobility, both physical and social. Mobility is so intertwined with the American dream that it is now impossible to separate the two. Our contention is that reimagining the American dream is the best way to transform the American urbanized landscape, and in doing so, transform land use patterns, its relationships to resources, its models of urbanity, of workspace, and home space. Our proposal is called Shareway 2030, and we've conceived of it as an operating system, both hardware and software, for the megalopolis. For this exhibition, we have organized our design research into 5 overlapping narratives. Each narrative is located in the Boswash network and addresses specific themes. I'll do a very brief introduction of the projects, and I invite you to take a look downstairs afterwards. So the first is Shareway. The American dream of suburbia and big cars hinges upon systems of mobility and infrastructure. That dream has revealed itself to be a mirage as American infrastructure becomes obsolete. President Obama will spend $60 billion on infrastructure to put America back to work. Our proposal for the Shareway gathers these diverse mobility systems into a single coordinated bundle. A new high-speed rail system will sit above the existing highway corridor, allowing easy access, switching between high-speed and regional trains, and between cars and other modes of transit. The bundle, as an infrastructure hardware, will be coupled with an infrastructure software, with an interface software, sorry. Future interfaces will rely less on absolute geography and more on relationships between people and places, each connected to one another in a cloud of users, friends, and neighbors. And there's a version of this interface downstairs in the exhibition hall. These interfaces will allow users to plan trips, make suggestions, and meet on the new social space of the Shareway. The Shareway bundle will allow users to prioritize choice and experience, choosing to conduct business, socialize, or do yoga. This is an example of the interface where you can choose between different modes of transportation. Itineraries for work or play bring people together in the new networked social space of transit. As the bundle enters the city, it frays to connect local parks to local road systems. The top surface of the bundle becomes a linear park, available to other modes of transportation. Now, land uses adjacent to infrastructure corridors have historically been highly underutilized. In this proposal, crescent-shaped territories emerge between the geometries of a high-speed rail turning radius of 200 miles per hour and the high-speed highway of 55 miles an hour. These new territories could be utilized for housing, for farming, or for energy generation. Now, the transition from mass transit to individualized mobility is provided by the last mile car, which will take kinetic energy from the braking train and translate that into electric power. The short-range electric cars are conveniently stored in the bundle and allow users to extend the mobility beyond the last mile. This is a social aspect of transit. So no longer forced into unimodal commutes, no longer reliant on ownership of a private vehicle, the traveler regains agency, the freedom to choose what mode of transportation best suits her needs at any time. Here you see the electric cars being dispersed from the bundle for the last mile. So the share stay. The American dream of home ownership has produced distinctive patterns of suburban sprawl, not just in the US, but around the world. This is an example from France, and this is Beijing. The foreclosure crisis in the US revealed the true cost of the American dream, and new models of collective consumption are emerging. Learning from car-sharing models, Share Stay offers users access to more choices of where to live and when. Here, users can select destinations along the bundle and are able to toggle between various options based on time, money, energy, and style priorities. Choice and access are the new objects of desire. And in the bundle, new communities emerge, where infrastructure benefits of convenience and accessibility with views of surrounding landscape and the city beyond. Residents are members within a community of time-based access. In this model, suburbia doesn't disappear. It becomes one of many temporary options. The powerhouse is a provisional structure that inserts itself in the dead ends of suburban landscape. Because the houses are time-shared, multiple users may occupy them at different times, momentarily inhabiting their interior while sharing its resources with others. Offering more than an idyllic image of suburban life, the powerhouse connects part-time residents into a network of users. Welcome home to Share Stay, for now. Despite the transformations of the information age, the movement of people and goods remains a physical and material challenge. Boswash is a dense network of mobility ecologies. There are 611 short-haul flights a day in the Boswash region alone. Situated in the confluence of Newark Airport shipping port and Interstate 95, the super hub builds on Newark's central location to create a new mobility capital. Organized as a coordinated system of mobility networks, the super hub is calibrated to the parameters of speed and transfer. Coordinating rendezvous between multiple modes of transit through the Shareway interface, passengers slip off cruise lines and onto high-speed rail, or linger between flights or for meetings. Boswash's multimodal distributed network, much of the short-haul flight will be absorbed by the high-speed trains effortlessly gliding through the bundle. Beyond the scale of a building or even a small city, the super hub merges car, rail, air, transportation, as well as supply chains, logistic hubs, and distribution centers into a frictionless component of the global and regional transportation network. Now, the continuity of Boswash should not be mistaken for uniformity. The economic success within the mega-region is unevenly distributed. The apparent triumph of the city in Manhattan is offset by the very real failure of the city of Baltimore, just 187 miles to the south, where Baltimore has lost a third of its population in the last 50 years. Residents of Baltimore find themselves within a food desert, isolated from basic services like a grocery store. The farm share capitalizes on two of Baltimore's remaining assets, land and access. Vacant neighborhoods are transformed into urban farms, combining industrial irrigation techniques and neighborhood gardens into a new pattern of urban agriculture. Fresh produce is distributed along the Shareway, redefining what is considered locally grown. The farm share transforms local food into close cuisine. Now, asphalt is America's most pervasive man-made material. There's enough asphalt in the US to pave the entire state of Colorado. And the street, the curb, and the sidewalk are fiercely contested zones between cyclists, pedestrians, and drivers. we think the road is ready for reinvention. The tri-panel system acts as a variable smart surface, capable of switching its material logic to accommodate various users: recreational park, solar energy farm, and occasionally a blacktop roadway. The tri-panel system separates users in time, not space, allowing different publics to coexist on the same surface. In the wake of a car-based urbanism, the tri-panel replaces the inert road with the smart street, the responsive roadway, and the empathic park. The intelligence of the tri-panel creates a variable cityscape that is self-regulating, communicative, at a human scale to support the full diversity of urban life. Now, in conclusion, we've imagined multiple scenarios for Boswash in the year 2030, and there's not a single vision. Rather, there are multiple overlapping narratives. These narratives are not science fiction. Rather, they are anticipatory visions based on contemporary trends and scenarios. Learning from car-sharing models and collective consumption, we note the shift from ownership to membership, from artifacts to access. These are narratives of collectivity, urbanity, technologies, and shared resources, all topics related to values of the American dream. Implementing these alternative American dreams requires both top-down, large-scale thinking and planning at the scale of Eisenhower's Interstate Highway Act, as well as bottom-up choices made by thousands of individuals. It requires imaginative design, but also imaginative politics. Multiple visions and multiple outcomes demonstrates the importance of our choices within our deliberative democracy, choices including investing in public money in shared infrastructure, both physical and informational. These are choices that are very much at the fore of our upcoming presidential election in November. And that's against this backdrop that we present our optimistic visions for alternative American dreams and how they might reshape the American urbanized landscape. Thank you.